How's it going? Hey, I just want to quickly talk about a portfolio I put together that for $260,000 basically will uh, will allow you to come down with this much income per year. And so I don't think it's that risky of a portfolio. And the reason why is because of the ETFs we're using aren't necessarily um, dividend ETFs. They're more of a covered call ETFs. There are some dividend ETFs in here, but let's show you real quick here what we got going on. That is the projected income on this $260,000 portfolio. This is not a portfolio I own. This is just me walking through the scenario. Look at the beta on this. The beta on this is 0.65, and if you were to change some of these stocks to a more less risky dividend stock, it would probably lower it close to a 0.5, which is super low beta, which means a super low ups and downs on your portfolio. And so, and look, there's the dividend yield, 11.31. It's amazing. And so basically, there's just 5 holdings in here. And we'll start with GILDI, and what that is GILD, which is gold, and it's selling covered calls on the weekly or monthly GOD options. And with that, selling covered calls, I believe your income from the covered calls is not taxable. It's considered capital, and with that, and so what you're getting that monthly payment, I believe it's just lowering your cost basis. So long as you don't ever sell the stock, you won't have a taxable event. But it probably does pay a dividend as well, and that dividend will be taxable. But as far as because they usually break those up in 2 payments, you'll see a capital payment, and you will see a dividend payment. And so that's usually how it works. And so that's GODI. It's not a very big ETF. It's pretty small, but it's basically based on gold. And you can change that out. I don't think that's a huge portion of this portfolio. It's just something I threw on there to add some different stability and some less risk, basically, was what I was trying to do there. QILD is basically a covered call global X ETF, and basically what it's doing is it's using the NASDAQ, and it is selling covered calls on NASDAQ stocks. And again, it's paying 11.39, and most of that is in. It does pay a dividend as well as a capital payment every month. RYLD is very similar, except it's the Russell 2000. The dividend's a little higher, or the payment's a little higher. It's actually more of a payment yield than a dividend yield. It's a Russell 2000 ETF, and those are usually smaller caps. So there are a little bit more ups and downs on the Russell 2000. And so it kind of gives you an idea there. Let's see here. SDIV, which is a Global X Super Dividend ETF. And obviously you could choose a less risky, lower dividend payment ETF. It's going to lower your income if you do that. I went with SDIV, and it's paying 8.55. And then on my REIT ETF, I put SRET. It's paying 10.5. It's probably a higher end dividend paying ETF paying stock, or REIT paying ETF. There's a bunch of different ETF REIT stocks, and so it's probably one of the higher. So you could lower those to a more safer ETF than these, and probably it would lower your income, but then again it would lower your beta as well as your risk. And so that's where you get to your 11.1. See if I can give you an idea what how many of each of these stocks are there. See if I can hit on the income here. Maybe they're there. So we'll make this a little bigger. So GLDI, the 1,000 shares, roughly it pays $68 a month, so $987 a year. QYLD, I have 6,800 shares in this make-believe portfolio. It pays monthly, and like it says right there, it varies depending on how much they collected in capital or covered call premium. 1324 with those 1,300 shares, I'm sorry, 6,800 shares. RYLD, I have 3,300 shares in this portfolio, paying $673 a month on average. So this is just an average or an estimate of the payment. SDIV, I have 2,000 shares, paying $150 a month. And then SRET, I have 3,500 shares, paying $228 a month. You know, and you could adjust, obviously, like I said, you could adjust those out to probably a more conservative ETF than those. And there's your projected, again, there's your projected income. Here is your, these are basically your projected payments per month. It's going through them all. May 26th. Then you have May 27th, you have the gold SUSI on May 26th. That's if you held this on the ex-dividend date of May 19th. Obviously, this is all make-believe anyway, so it just kind of gives you an example. And then you have the global X payment of $13.88 on the 27th, and again the other one on May 27th. The SRET doesn't come up for some reason. Maybe it's a little farther out. I will see what's going on with that, but kind of gives you an idea here what. And the SIDV is not on here either, because they probably just have to own them. You probably had to own them prior to the ex-dividend date was probably prior, or it's not going farther out. It's just stopping at May 27th here, so it looks like it's only giving the first couple weeks or the first week. But yeah, so what I would do with this portfolio, if this was my portfolio, I would not take the full income every month, which looks like it is going to be 2.4, roughly 2.4 a month. I would probably take out between 2 and 2.2 a month, and I would reinvest that extra $200 to $400 every month, and that way I can build my portfolio up a little bit, as well as increase my income. And on top of that, I think it would allow you to feel more comfortable through the ups and downs of the market. And so as your portfolio keeps building and you keep reinvesting, 200 to 400 are roughly 5% to about 7 or 8% a month. It will just make you more stable, and probably I don't know, that way you're not feeling every time the market just dips and goes up, obviously your balance is going to change. It's like any other stock, and the ETFs are just like any other stock. They go up and down, just as the each of the indexes go up and down. And so that's just an example. I love the beta. I think I can lower that beta down to about a 0.6 or 0.55 by changing up those ETFs to a more safer ETF, safer ETF. But I think it would be. And then I love the dividend, obviously. And so, just give an example. All right, guys, take care.